All right, now let's presume that we were asked to add 3/8 to 1/4. Okay, so we can't do this problem on our own immediately because we don't have a common denominator. We have 8 here and we have 4 here. So what we have to do is alter one of these fractions so that it comes up with the denominator of the other, either the common denominator of 8 or the common denominator of 4. We can't use the common denominator of 4 because 3/8 will not go into 4. 3/8 is already reduced as much as it can be. So what that means here is that we have to convert this fraction right here into eighths. So what we would ask ourselves here, and we can do this step by step, if we need to convert, we have 3/8 here. What we're essentially asking ourselves as we analyze 1/4 is, how do I turn 4 into 8? And the answer to that is, I multiply by 2. So I multiply by my 4 by 2, and that gives me 8. And then I have to multiply my top number by 2 as well. So 2 times 1 is 2. So now I can go about my problem again. I have everything the way I need it. So I bring my 8, and then I simply do 3 plus 2, which gives me 5/8. Is that an acceptable fraction? Yes, it is. And it is acceptable because the numerator is less than the denominator, and because there is no way to reduce that fraction any further. This is a 1. 5 will not divide any further. There isn't any number by which you can divide both 5 and 8 evenly. So 5/8 is a good answer to that problem. So let's do one final problem here. Let's do 4/8 plus 8/16. Okay, so in this particular problem, we're in the same boat. We don't have a common denominator, so let's address that issue first. Will 8 go into 16? Yes, it will. And so that means that we can keep our 4/8 exactly like it is. And since we know that since we know that 8 will divide evenly into 16, what we're actually going to do is we're going to divide each of the numbers in this equation to reduce it down. So we're taking 8/16, and we're essentially saying we're going to divide this by 2 because 8 goes into 16 2 times. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 8 I said that wrong. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And that's how we've got our common denominator there. So then we can do what we did with the last one. We can move our 8 across. We can do 4 plus 4. We come up with 8/8. Is that an improper fraction? Yes, it is. We have to reduce it. So we ultimately essentially do 8 divided by 8. And what we come up with is 1. So that's those are the arithmetic functions of fractions.